campaign has, by its own admission, focused on this fundamental question. Is Obama sufficiently experienced to be commander-in-chief? Does he have foreign policy credentials? One subset of that, if he does not, as she claims, why does she hint she might make him a heartbeat away from the presidency? In depth on that in a moment. But first, the other subset, the specific credentials she has that he does not. And they have now taken a huge hit, specifically her claim that, quote, I helped to bring peace to Northern Ireland. That sentence coming back to haunt her tonight now that a Nobel Peace Prize winner has called her bluff. Over the weekend, negotiators who helped broker the Belfast Agreement in 1998 telling the British newspaper The Daily Telegraph that her role there had been peripheral at best. Lord Trimble, who shared the Nobel Peace Prize for his work negotiating the Belfast Agreement, saying she had no direct role in bringing peace to Northern Ireland, and it is, quote, a wee bit silly for exaggerating the part she played now. Further quoting the former David Trimble, ex-head of the Ulster Unionist Party, I don't know there was much she did apart from accompanying Bill Clinton going around. I don't want to rain on the thing for her, but being a cheerleader for something is slightly different from being a principal player. That's where Senator Clinton's claim of having been flown into Bosnia in 1996 when it was too dangerous to send President Clinton. Susan Rice, a former Assistant Secretary of State from the Clinton years, now an Obama campaign advisor, pointing out that singer Sheryl Crow and the comedian Sinbad accompanied Mrs. Clinton on that trip, the purpose of which was to put on a USO show for the troops. Let's bring in our own Richard Wolff, with no analogies made to Sinbad, senior White House correspondent for Newsweek. Richard, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
Senator Clinton's claim of having vast experience because of her White House years. Has she gotten a buy on that from the media so far? Are we learning what can happen once they start getting vetted by Nobel Prize winners and others who describe her as a wee bit silly?
Yes, it is a wee bit of an exaggeration, and in fact it stretches exaggeration to breaking point. And if you look at how the Northern Ireland peace process really developed, the kind of hands-on grind that it was, there's no way that a photo op, a parachute event that Hillary Clinton was involved with constitutes helping Northern Ireland to peace. Has there been a media buy on this? Well, the truth is that most political reporters are engaged in focusing on the horse race. The New York Times did a great story a few weeks back when they pointed out that she didn't have national security clearance. So what was the basis for this experience? And those kinds of stories, I'm afraid, got lost in the mix of what's been a very exciting story. But with the 6 weeks now up to Pennsylvania, people have got the time to go back and look.
In the conference call the same day that the 3 a.m. TV ad debuted, a reporter asked Senator Clinton's people about her foreign policy experience, and for 5 seconds, not one of her advisors had anything to say, and when they finally did speak, they spoke in generic terms. Nothing changed. They continued to go down this. She has the foreign policy experience, he does not. Are we likely to see this issue of foreign policy kind of evaporate suddenly, or are they going to put themselves out for the kind of vetting that you just suggested?
No, I don't think it will evaporate. I mean, they have chosen to make this the critical issue at this point. And remember, the experience argument isn't actually based in her real experience, which is serving on the Senate Armed Services Committee, something they curiously don't mention really at all on the campaign trail. When you put experience in the White House at the centerpiece of your campaign, you really end up arguing about things that weren't obvious or, in fact, evidential in that time period. So they have to exaggerate because, frankly, she wasn't hands-on in terms of the foreign policy record of her husband's administration. So I don't think it can go away. It is the very core of her argument, not her character, not her time in the Senate, but what she did in the White House.
And what Senator Obama started to do today to try to strike back about this on qualifications as commander-in-chief, is it too late to kind of crack the assumption that she knows what she's doing and he doesn't, or is there plenty of time between now and the vote in Pennsylvania?
Well, there is a lot of time, and I think you are going to see a more robust performance by Obama. Look, if the problem on the Clinton side is overreach when they nose or put an edge ahead, the problem for Obama has been complacency, and he needs the fight. Quite clearly, it changes his tone. He needs to go out and make these arguments, because you can have any number of surrogates. You can have former top military brass making the arguments, but he has to go out and do that to show that he has the mettle to go toe-to-toe, not just with her, but with Republicans in the fall.
Richard Wolff of MSNBC and Newsweek, as always, sir, our thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you, Keith.